If we give the shoes a brighter color, they're going to stand out more. They're going to be a focal point, which will be great against the skin. Like, it will be, you want to have like things standing out, basically. Oh yeah, this is a good brown. This is a good brown. So we're painting on. Again, we really don't have to be that careful. Ultimately, we're just painting for ourselves. We're having fun. Anyone who talks about like being careful, yeah, if you want to be careful, you can be careful. If you don't want to be careful, you don't gotta be careful. I really wish we'd all could just go back to that kind of childish, I'm proud of having done something, and it doesn't matter if it's great or not. I finished a thing. Look at me. I literally created something out of nothing. I teach English, but I also teach, I have creative workshop. I'm not in any way, shape, or form an artist. And I don't think I have an artist mentality to things, because I'm very bad at working at something for very long. And I have a very bad mental, my inner eye is not very good. Okay, well this is a good brown for the shoes. But I think I have one of the best pieces of advice you can give someone who's learning how to do art. I can speak from someone who's not good at art, from the perspective of someone who's not good at art, who's teaching it to someone who's not good at art. I don't like spending a lot of time on something that doesn't look the way I want it to look. So I absolutely feel you on that. But that's why I do a lot of parlor beads, and I do miniature painting and stuff like that. That's like different. It's easier to not compare yourself to others when you do that. Also, don't play the game anymore, so I don't see other people's models. Plus, I have a bunch of friends who suck at painting models, like legitimately. I mean, that's their words, not mine. So they've always been like they've been praising my painting, even though I know objectively it's not that good. But I think the most important mentality to have when you're creating is that you created something out of nothing. Like, even if it's ugly, even if you don't like it, you've created something. You should be proud of the fact that you created something out of nothing, right? And that's a powerful feeling, because that literally makes whatever you make is unique. Nobody else has ever made this. You created something out of nothing. You're literally a god in that sense. And I mean, that's a weird kind of mentality to have, but I think going in with that approach and being like, look, this is so much better than when it wasn't made, because when it wasn't made, it didn't even exist. How many of you haven't looked at like a very weird paint style or a very weird color scheme for a model and been like, man, that is kind of cool? And that's the beauty of being a creator, because you're making something that people haven't seen. And if you go like XKCD or whatever it's called, or if you look at the dinosaur comics, they're not necessarily amazing. And XKCD's been around so long that it's like so many of them are duds. But it doesn't matter. The guy made them. Like, he literally made the stick figure math science comic, and people go like, you know what? It's good. It's all about like the purpose of what you're making. And I think that's part of the artist mentality too. If you look at modern art, if you look at Dadaism, if you look at absurdism or abstract art, the reason people are doing that is not necessarily because they're not good artists. If you look at Picasso's stuff when he was like very young, he's a very, very, very good artist. Like, he was able at a very young age to make very realistic looking art, capturing depth and shading and color very, very well, proportions, everything. But the reason he did what he did was because he was like, okay, well, I only have this much time on this planet, and everyone has already seen this kind of art. This kind of art isn't new. It's not groundbreaking. It isn't interesting. It doesn't evoke anything. Like, the more realistic it is, the less thought-provoking it is. Because humanity has the power of visualizing ideas and concepts out of like heavy symbolism. We can look at something and see so much more in it, right? That's why he started doing that stuff. That's why people in the 1910s, 1920s did Dadaism, because they were like, we're gonna make something really absurd and childish, and you're still gonna be able to interpret it. It doesn't have to be realistic. It doesn't have to be high art. And then, of course, there's a lot of people who are very bad artists. Okay, I painted his pants brown. Not the most exciting color, but God, yeah. As you can see, I went with brown because we used a little bit too much dry brush on his pants, so they look kind of dark.